we need to see what they find as a result of this incident. They have already admitted that they conducted this strike. They have already publicly said that they're at fault for this strike, and they're working their way through the specific findings and details. And I think we need to let them finish that work and speak to it themselves. So I'm not prepared at this point to speculate about anything we might or might not do. We're gonna have to wait to see what the investigation says. Okay? We have been very clear with the Israelis privately, and my goodness, we've been clear publicly that the way they are prosecuting their operations is not always, in every case, the best way to do that. We have said there have been too many civilians killed. We have talked about the civilian infrastructure that's been destroyed. We have been very clear about our concerns and objections over some obstacles that have been put in the way of getting additional humanitarian assistance in. And nobody is working harder than Joe Biden or this administration on trying to get a ceasefire in place so that we can get the hostages out. So I guess I'm just going to take issue with, the premise of the question. We have been exceedingly consistent and clear with our expectations for the prosecution of these operations. While we take issue with aspects of how operations are being conducted, particularly like saying, quite frankly, publicly, we don't support a ground operation in Rafah. We also continue to believe and continue to act on the belief that Israel has a right to defend itself against a still viable threat by Hamas. They still have every right and responsibility to their people to eliminate that threat after the 7th of October. And so that support for Israel continues. No country should have to live next door to a threat that is truly genocidal, as Hamas has been. So while we make no bones about the fact that we have certain issues about some of the way things are being done, we also make no bones about the fact that Israel is going to continue to have American support for the fight that they're in to eliminate the threat from Hamas. I think the Israelis want to learn from the investigation. They want to learn exactly how it happened. And it's one thing to be able to admit, and they have, that they perpetrated this attack, and that it did not, obviously was not the intended result. But they too want to learn what decisions were made that led to this attack, and where the fault lies. And as I said yesterday, we firmly believe that if accountability needs to be observed, then we want to see accountability observed for people who may have, who may have acted here inappropriately. But again, we don't know that. So we need to let the investigation conclude. We need to see what they learn, and we need to see, just as importantly, what they do about what they've learned, what changes they're willing to make, what accountability they're willing to observe. We're just not there yet. So we need to let them finish their work. In the meantime, we have made very clear, all the way up to the president's level, our outrage about this attack and the result of it, of course, and our deep concern about this particular operation. We share the concerns of so many groups out there about the humanitarian situation in Gaza, which is why actually from the beginning of this conflict, have been urging and pushing the Israelis to do more to get humanitarian assistance in, to allow the flow into Gaza. It's why we're doing airdrops. It's why we got a temporary pier that's on the way over there to be able to assist with maritime loading of humanitarian assistance and getting that into Gaza. So we share the concerns over what's going on inside Gaza with the Palestinian people, and we're doing everything we can to try to alleviate that. It's also why we continue to push for a ceasefire that will allow for the hostages to get out in a period of calm for about 6 weeks so that more humanitarian assistance can get in. No, I don't have an update for you. I don't know, and I wouldn't anticipate any particular impact on those discussions as a result of the strike yesterday. But I also, at the same time, don't have, again, any progress to report to you. We're still working hard at this, trying to get this deal in place, and we're gonna stay at that work.